Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Room Shots with Sean right here on the Rock Ridge Radio Network, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. I have with me Lonnie West from probably one of the coolest band names I've heard for quite some time, Pure American Filth. Thank you for doing this, sir.
No problem. Good to talk to everybody.
So Brian sent me the first. Let's get it squared away. You guys are curtain call artists, is that correct?
We are.
So I don't have a name for this, but I've been slowly getting acquainted with the curtain call kids. Hopefully you'll come back there as we're going. But curtain call, I'm starting to call it the curtain call corner.
Yeah.
Difficult technical difficulties and weather being what they be. We're going to get through this. So, tell me. So about you guys. You guys are located where, Lonnie?
We are in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, so curtain call for anybody that has been following along. I mean, really, they've got artists right around the world, well, so it's good to know we're both experiencing some crummy weather. So Missouri. So for starters, I want to point something out. Brian sent me your music. I got a. I don't know if you're going to agree with this. I get a Judas Priest / Painkiller quite vibe from it. Some great drumming, some great playing, some great vocals. How would you guys describe yourselves?
Yeah, that's probably a good comparison. I don't know. We have a little bit of everything from when we all grew up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's Metallica and there's Sabbath and there's I don't know. It's kind of a hard one to explain.
Well, I'm hearing riffy stuff. I'm hearing great vocals because I mean sometimes you hear what I always prepare myself for when I hear that type of music and that sound of music, the double kick and the busy sort of guitar work going on. It's like, okay, am I going to get hit with a Cookie Monster singer here? What's going on? Then the vocals come in, very melodic singing, and I'm thinking Tim Ripper Owens, maybe a little bit of just kind of that genre. I guess in terms of how you guys record, pardon me?
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much our style. So.
Well, I get very proficient music too. I mean, you guys are in terms of your recording and how you record. How do you guys go about it? Because it's very proficient is how I guess another way I would describe it.
It's all live pretty much. We just all record at the same time, and then Greg comes in and put his tracks down later. So
how long has your band been together?
Well, Greg and I have been together for about 4 years, and Travis and Scott, they came in about 2 years ago. So
the great state of Missouri, where do you guys fit in there? Obviously that's kind of, I think it's the land of Slipknot, if I'm not mistaken. But
that's Iowa.
There's some great bands out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Slipknot's Iowa. Thank you very much. Yeah. But where do you guys fit into the musical landscape there?
We're pretty heavy for around here, but we've been around forever. So in different bands, and we kind of all got together in the last few years. So pretty good. We have pretty good turnout. So
does that good turnout, but does that impede your progress or maybe impede, how things go for you guys compared to some other bands? Because from what I'm told, in that part of the United States, there's a lot of tribute acts that are out there.
There is. And there's not too many places to play anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Trust me, I do. Where I live, I mean, unfortunately, we're becoming a big coffee, shop like Central Park from the TV show Friends. A lot of singles and duos and folk music and that type of thing. So I definitely feel your pain. Not a lot of full band activity. Does that take you guys out of your area to play a little bit from time to time?
Yeah, some. But I think, everybody that grew up our age can appreciate this type of music, you know what I mean? And there's not too many people doing it, so I think
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things where any I guess any heavy music is kind of it's a labor of love, right?
It is.
Anybody that's playing it knows it. Anybody that's following it's knowing it. But if you're doing it and you're following it and you're loving it, then it's I guess it's it's like no other.
Exactly. And that's what, we love to do. I don't want to play in a tribute band.
So
I played covers a bunch and I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So
no, I do, and I mean, I guess it's all about goals. I talk to people about this quite a bit. I mean, you know what your goals are, and I mean, if your goal is to do that, nothing wrong with it. But if your goal is not to, then you have to do what you guys are doing. In terms of getting your releases out there, what's your strategy been? Have you guys been looking at albums? What you're
yeah,
doing? Are you trying to do singles? What?
we've been doing singles right now. So we have a couple singles out on Amazon and iTunes and Spotify and YouTube. So
So singles seem to be like the waterfall release method. Seems to be the way to go, just because people's attention spans are so ridiculously low. They're at an all-time low, I would argue, right? So your strategy is obviously to get it out there and put as much meat behind it as you can before you hit the next one.
for sure. Yeah, nobody sits down and listens to the whole album anymore. And I still call them albums, so.
Well, and sad statement, right? Because I mean, I talked to somebody about this before. I mean, I like Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet," but I like the second side, which it doesn't have as many of the hits as the first side. And had it come out in this era, I probably never would have discovered the second side because I wouldn't have gone looking for the material, right?
Exactly. That's with most albums,
Very
You
sad.
wouldn't hear the good stuff on the second side. You know what I mean?
100%. Nor would you go looking for it. So in terms of your dynamic and how you guys, you mentioned a couple of you have come on board in the last couple of years. What is your, I guess, workload like? How many shows do you try to shoot for in the run of a month, or the run of a year?
Well, we got about 2 coming up a month here for bigger shows like outdoor festivals. That's what we're looking at.
So that's I mean, really, that's ambitious in this day and age. I mean, unless you're doing flyout dates, and you're one of those major acts or something like that. A month is pretty ambitious. Do you guys, is it like that for you every month, or is it just kind of you take it as it comes?
We've taken a little bit off because we're getting ready to go back in the studio and put 4 more songs down. So, but yeah, we
Right
try to
on.
do twice a month if we can.
So back in the studio, 4 more songs. So obviously your strategy will be that'll be your next 4 releases. So you'll have, we'll call it 8 to 10 months worth of new songs ready to
Right.
go.
Yeah. There you go.
Good
And then
strategy.
and we're still writing too, you know what I mean? So we try to write at every practice if we can, at least take out 15 minutes or so. Yeah.
What's your relationship been like with curtain call? I always like to ask the curtain call artists just because I never get a varied answer, and I keep asking it. So I'll ask you the question, and you tell me.
What's the question now?
What's your relationship with curtain call been like?
It's been pretty good. Brian's been pretty good to us. He's right on top of it with answering everything we need to be answered and gets back to us quick, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, and in the world of major labels, more or less. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, outside of the ones that are putting out pop tunes and what have you, Frontier is really the only one that's putting out music similar to what you guys do, and they're more of a collaboration label, I guess. So I guess it's important that you have a good relationship with the label that you have, so that your vision for what your project is gets out properly. Correct.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. You got to have a good relationship with them, man, or nothing goes good. You know how that is.
I do, and I will say I've dealt with Brian a lot. I work with an artist that they've been talking to, and Brian's super organized about getting me all the info. I mean, I heard your tune for the first time this morning, and I mean, to be honest with you, it's going to sound like a bit of a line, but I get a lot of stuff, so it's hard for me to listen to everything. But I listened to the tune all the way through, and that's where I heard that Judas League Painkiller, but then the Ripperone stuff. Like again, it was just precision metal, I guess is what I heard. That you could coin a phrase.
Right on. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're having a good time doing it. And
what do you guys have planned for? What do you have planned for 2025, Lonnie? I mean, like people don't. It feels like we're 6 months in, but really and truly, we're a month and a half into the year. What are your plans for 2025?
Well, I guess we're playing a couple bike fests in Oklahoma, and we're gonna do the Thunder Beach one rally in Florida. So we're trying to get it all around, you know what I mean, so we can spread this shit out a little bit. So
when you guys travel, I mean, in terms of geography, so I'm up here in Canada. Our geography is enormous. You might go, 12 to 14 hours between stops. For you guys, when you're doing these shows, is it as long as a trip when you're going back and forth to these road gigs?
well, to Florida is, but Oklahoma it's only about 4 or 5 hours, so not too bad.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. And I mean, a lot of people would say back in the day, if you're not willing to travel at least 2 hours, you're not really willing to do it for real, right? So.
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Last question, because like I say, attention spans are at an all-time low. We like to keep them. We like to make sure that they're on point. Where do my viewers and listeners find out more about you guys? Where do they get your tunes? Where do they follow you, etc.?
Okay, we're on Amazon, so you could say, "Hey, Echo," you know what I mean? Play Pure American Filth, songs by Pure American Filth, and we are on Spotify, and we are on iTunes, and we are on YouTube. So you can check us out on any of them.
And I lied. This will be the last question. Where did the name come from?
It came from another buddy of ours band that he had a song called Pure American Filth, and we loved it. So
I love it. It's got some horror film connotations.
yes, it does.
The Arctic Clown or something like that. You know what I mean? When I hear the name.
Yeah, for sure. and the shirts, everybody loves the shirts. You know what I mean? So
fantastic. Look, Lonnie, I want to thank you for doing this, my man. We had some technical difficulties. We're getting that bad weather on both ends, but I want to say thanks so much. I will be following you guys, and have a great 2025, my friend.
all right, Sean. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
We're back on the Rock Rage Radio Network after this.